Many of us have pent-up demand to spend on things like eating out, special events, and of course traveling.
And today we are joined by Bernadette Joy, who has built 6 figures of savings during the pandemic. She has money tips to ease back and slowly while having some fun. The pandemic's been crazy. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's talk tip number 1. Have a real plan to pay for that entertainment.
Yes. So I know a lot of us have been cooped up inside, so we're like, let's get out and do all the things.
I want to spend.
I want to spend, and that is okay. I want us to spend too. The only thing I ask is that we plan ahead of time. So I always ask people to look at the next 30 days and figure out what you're going to be spending in terms of, you know, eating out, like spending time with your friends, activities, and just plan a budget for those items. And if you can, bring cash. If you can't, that's okay. But the more that you plan ahead of time, then you're not going to go crazy when you get to go do that thing and spend out of the wazoo.
Okay, let's talk about streaming services, because everybody has a subscription, everybody has an app, everybody has apps because of the pandemic. Now, you said we need to go ahead and check out these subscriptions.
Let's talk about this,
let's
sir.
talk about these.
I have way too many.
I had a client, when we looked at her finances, she had 8 different streaming services. And I was like, are you going to be able to literally watch or listen to all of these things at once? And we're going out, right?
Yeah.
So just do a little audit of all of the streaming services, your, you know, podcast apps, your, you know, TV apps, your radio apps, and just see, do you need all of these things? If you can just get rid of 1 or 2, that's a couple $100s a year that you're saving.
They really do build up, right? That little $5, $10
yeah, you're thinking,
per
it's like $10 here, $15 here, but then before you know it, you have 20 different things to watch, and can you actually watch all of it?
No.
I am very bad at that. I need you to help me look through mine. So let's talk tip number 3, because it's hard to think about, but the holidays aren't that far away, so we need to start saving now.
I know, it sounds crazy. We're in the summer, we're like, we just got out. We're just, it's the weather's nice, but Christmas is only a couple of months away, y'all. So if we can start thinking about it now, think about how much you might want to spend in Christmas. So if it's $1,000, then save $200 a month between now and then you're going to be able to pay for Christmas in full, and you can still have all the fun and all the presents.
Why are some of these things doable? I mean, these are actual doable things that people can actually do, right?
Yes, yes. So I talk a lot about reverse engineering our goals. A lot of people get really overwhelmed when we're talking about big, lofty goals. Like $1,000 seems like a lot, but if you break it down to 5 months and $200, it doesn't feel as bad, right? So when I ask people to think about doable things, take that big goal and break it down into smaller things so that you can actually do something today instead of waiting, you know, farther down the line.
And what is one of your #1 money saving tips? If you had to go ahead and boil it down to this is what you guys need to do, what would that be?
So I'm going to say my favorite tip is my dollar rule. So it's pretty simple. If you're going to spend money on something like clothes or like shoes or something you don't need, if it's going to come out to $1 per use, go ahead and buy the thing.
What do you mean dollar per use?
So like this jacket, for example, if I spent $20 on this jacket, I have worn it more than 20 times. So every time I was thinking, oh, I spent $1 to wear it.
I like it.
That tip is making me feel a lot of shame. I'm like, oh no, I have not. There are some things I've spent a lot of money on, and I have used it maybe once.
So then that's the time for you to just go and use it more. So instead of thinking, I gotta go buy something new, then maybe just make it so that it gets down to $1 per use. That's all.
That is amazing. Well, where can people get more tips from you?
Sure, you can find me at crushyourmoneygoals.com.
Crushing them.
Crush your goals. And on social media, I'm at Bernadette Joy, and I post tips every day about how to live debt-free and how to save a lot of money.
And Bernadette is spelled differently, correct?
With the word debt. Who would have thought that I would be in this job, right?
You were made for this.
I was literally made for this.
Money expert, Bernadette Joy. Bernadette, thank you very, very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.